Hello, my name is Borges Dude and thank you so much for clicking on this video. And today I'm going to take a look at Craftsman Toys Legend Scaled, Technobots and Computron respectively. The Technobots have been very underrepresented when it comes to official and third-party releases. Indeed, only Hasbro has released a modern version of Computron in the Combiner Wars series, and Takara took a stab at their own version in the United Warriors line. When it comes to third party, we have only seen two versions of this team, one from Make Toys and one from Warbaton, and it has been such a long time since those releases. You could say that Wei Zhang did a version of the Technobots, but that was a very artistic and stylistic choice at best. So you can imagine my joy and my surprise when this new company, or at least we think they're new, they could indeed be TFC in disguise, Craftsman Toys had started to show prototypes of the first version of nose cone we have seen in a Legends scale. In this video I'm going to take a look at nose cone. I'm also going to take a look at their prototype pictures of Afterburner and their leader Scattershot and just discuss them. So let's get on with it. You've seen enough of my face. The first release in this set is DJS02A Drill, or their version of nose cone. Now this is tentatively scheduled to be released in October. We've still at this point not seen any coloured prototypes yet at the recording of this video. It's only been this black and silver paint scheme that we have seen. Now the design of the figure is not Generation 1 accurate. Personally, I would have preferred it to be Generation 1 accurate, but that isn't on the cards here for this one, but it won't stop me picking up the figure. The design to me seems to be a mix of TFC Toys and indeed Warbaton when they done their version of the Technobots, and it's no bad thing. There's so much detail going on in the sculpt, and the head sculpt itself is really nice looking. I think when I see a colour prototype of this will really show off the mould, the sculpt and all the detail in it. I definitely think the drill itself will stay the silver. The alt mode, now this looks more so like Drillhorn from the Leo Kaiser set, or the Rescue Force version of Leo Kaiser if you're in Europe, than the Generation 1 design. But of course we know they're not going for that G1 accurate look. But from what we see, you know, they're picking up a lot of detail again in this mode with the tank treads. The drill itself comes out on its own here with that brilliant silver paint scheme, which again, just to reiterate, I really don't think they will change the paint on the drill. I think that will be the final paint scheme for that. And I do like the silver touches on the exhaust as well. That is really nicely done. Let's hope that stays. The final picture for drill is the combined mode. Now the combined mode itself is definitely going for that more traditional Scramble City look, with the feet of the combiner being separate from the robot. The next reveal that we have seen from Craftsman Toys is their version of Afterburner, which they have called 6 Motor, or DJS02B. Now again, this is going for that stylized look. I don't think any of these figures will be that G1 accurate look, but it still looks nice. The details showing there, the head sculpt has those lovely shades over the eyes, which I think is a nice touch, and I think more figures should definitely have that in Transformers. The only thing that might put people off is that backpack with the wheels, very much exposed. That very much reminds me of the Warbatron version of the figure, as opposed to the Make Toys version. That was very different in design, but this does take those cues from the Warbatron version with the wheels just hanging on the back. So maybe it's more leaning to that team that's done this design as opposed to TFC. The alt mode I'm not very keen on, however. It's very boxy looking. Now I think because I'm probably a bit biased when it comes to Make Toys version, they've basically made the Tron light cycle with their version of Afterburner, and any other version has always seemed a bit boxy in comparison. So it's not the best looking alt mode for me personally, but again, maybe once we do get coloured prototypes, my opinion might change. The combined armature though does look very cool and does echo a more Generation 1 sentiment when it comes to Computron's arm. Now again, we're seeing the picture here with the hand. I'm assuming the hand will be separate, much like the foot is with nose cone, rather than it being stored within the robot itself, but we'll just have to see on future pictures from this character. The final reveal so far from Craftsman Toys is the leader Scattershot. He looks very nice, he looks very bulky, very chunky. The head sculpt, again, they've kept it a bit more closer certainly to the Generation 1 look. Again, he does have those aviator shades, which is something I absolutely love. He's basically the most accurate looking out of the three that have been revealed so far, and to be honest, it's not that much, but you can see the Generation 1 influence there. But he does look very cool in there, he is standing beside Afterburner, just to give you the idea of how they scale together. He does look like he will be able to pose reasonably well still, even though he's got quite a very bulky stature. It looks like the feet on this figure, and indeed the other releases we have seen so far in prototype form, have either a ball joint or an ankle tilt. Now the alt mode is interesting. When we see the alt mode, I didn't think I would like it, but it's one that's grown on me. It's a completely different design than we are used to when it comes to Scattershot, but I do really like it. It's a futuristic spaceship, as you know that, I guess. If you collect Transformers, I'm not telling you anything new, but it looks like something you would see in a 2D shooter, such as a Darius Gaiden or G Darius, you know, all those type of 2D old school shooters. And it looks really cool. I can't wait to see the coloured prototypes of Scattershot. This is the one that's really interesting me the most. Lastly, we've got a couple of pictures of the Computron combined mode. The first one is just the, I guess, the CAD drawing, if you will, of the figure, and that gives you an idea of what the final design will look like. The second picture, however, gives us a better idea of what the combined mode will look like, using 2 afterburners for the arms and 2 nose cones for the limbs, with of course Scattershot being the torso. I love this combined head sculpt. Again, it's sort of bordering more on the Abominus look, to be honest, but it works. I think this, once we see the full combined mode in colour with the other 2 limbs, it will look very spectacular on your shelf. Again, as I've mentioned, almost beating a dead horse here, it is stylised, but it looks so good. I think this will make more sum of its parts rather than the individual bots, but your mileage will vary, and indeed so will your opinion. And there we go, that is my look at the first 3 reveals from Craftsman Toys Technobots, and indeed a mock-up of their Computron. I'm quite excited for this figure, and came out the blue really. It's legend scaled, and if you don't collect legends, then it's not going to be for you, but if it is, I think it'll be a really good version of Computron, and hopefully it will inspire other third-party companies to come out with not only Legends versions of the Technobots team, but also MP scaled versions, because we definitely do need another MP scaled version of Computron, in my opinion. But what about you? Let me know in the comment sections below. Will you be picking this figure up, or will you be passing because of its scale? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. And as always, for clicking on the video, thank you for the support, and I will see you again soon with another video. Warburton, Mr. Warburton, stop. I do see a mock-up with you, with the Scattershot. Fucking hell. Pardon me.